Let's do a little Bible study on code switching. There's been a lot of conversation this week about black culture, gospel music, and the way that we as a people have been co-opted for agendas that work against us. And while it is important that we lift up the beauty of black people and the beauty of gospel music, I don't think that defending gospel music as an entity is really getting to the heart of this matter. And while many have rushed to the internet to condemn those who have gamed the system with our skin on, what we're not doing is dealing with the root of why this happens. The root of how black voices and other voices from the global majority become used as parrots for white supremacy in any way, shape, or form. When the man who would eventually be known as King David is introduced to us in the book of 1 Samuel, the event that brings him into prominence is the time that he is used by God to kill the Philistine warrior Goliath. Throughout the narrative of the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament, the Philistines are noted as oppressors of God's people in Israel. David taking down one of the biggest ops the Philistines had in the tuck ends up being symbolic to people to show them that God is about to raise up a new leader to protect them. But instead of being welcomed as the next hero in line, David ends up on the run for years from the first king, Saul. And by chapter 27, David actually ends up hiding out in the camp of the Philistines and becomes essentially a mercenary for them for a couple years. And I think that narrative offers a strange parallel with what's happened to many of us. A lot of us who grew up in the black church in the Gen X and Millennial and Gen Z demographics realized that there was so much value in the place that we came from, but we wanted to evolve it and grow it. And many of us, when we wanted to bring innovations that came from cross-cultural connections or came from urban culture or came from hip-hop or came from something different than what we were already used to, were shunned when we brought that stuff to our communities. We started out wanting to grow where we were planted, and we got hit with walls, whether it be traditionalism or whether it be fear of change or whether it be dogma, things that stood in our way and told us, nah, that's not welcome here. Many folks in global majority spaces have similar experiences to this. So a lot of us went where we thought we were being accepted, and those spaces were white dominated, and we thought because they welcomed our image and our sound that they were welcoming us. And then Trayvon Martin got murdered and they hit you with Romans 13 instead of weeping with you. Now, I'm not saying that all white-led spaces are racist and evil, but I am saying that white Christianity in America has always historically had ties to racism and pragmatic politics. And so for many of us, there really is a direct through line from desiring to be your full self in the spaces you came from, to being wounded in those spaces as you attempted to be your full self, and then landing in spaces that eventually disciple you into code switching, spaces that turn you into a tool for colonized fate. Remember, friends, God is not a colonizer. Code switching is not a gift of the spirit, and diversity without equity is performative. God bless.